Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Drive-Thru. I'm your host, Tony T. As we broadcast live here on Pick Dogs and SCPBetting.com. We'll take you to the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for primetime games. And that's what we do here on the Drive-Thru, is we deliver live free sports picks for the games beginning here at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, with us is Chris with us. Wednesdays with Mitch. Big Al McMordie. Jay Briggs. Got Rod Zawacky, Ninos. Dana will sign in about bottom of the hour. Here's how they'll line up for this evening. We've got Ruffolo, Briggs, McMordie, Ninos, Zawacky, Lane, Mitch, and then I will close this one out. All right, let's get this one underway tonight. Good NBA cards, some college hoops as well, NHL, so a little bit of everything. So let's get this one underway. Welcome in Chris Ruffolo. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Catch him every day at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with that morning show with Mitch and Rod. Of course, he's also part of that Puck Dogs show with those great hockey videos you can check out over on Pick Dogs. And we always ask you to like and subscribe, so when they drop those videos, you'll get them right away. So let's go ahead and bring Chris in right now. Ready to roll here with Chris. Chris, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. Just enjoying the early action. Well, we have a subdivision game going on right now, but I'm going to be tuning into a lot of the late night action tonight. Great card. I'm loving it tonight.
Yeah, great card tonight, highlighted by UConn. Can they continue their mastery on the? We'll see how they do. They're going to be on the road tonight at Florida, and they're favored on the road. But you're going to be going out to the West Coast here, as we got California, who has just not been very good in the Pac-12 for some time, hosting Eastern Washington. California here laying 3.5 total, 128.
Yeah, Tony, what's that thing they always say? The West Coast is the best coast? Yeah, well, Cal definitely not, living up to that motto. Mainly because of the fact that this is a Cal team that has been an absolute disaster to start the year. 0-9 straight up, especially 0-5 at home, 0-5 against the spread. Now, the losses, some of these losses are excusable, I think. Losses to teams like USC and even Kansas State. But then you've got losses to UC Davis by 11, Southern by 8, and Texas State by 4. And Cal was held to 66 points or less in each of those each of those 3 games. And actually, they've been held to that number or less in each of the 5 this season. But Eastern Washington comes in, and Eastern Washington 0-3 straight up and against the spread on the road this season. But Eastern Washington is still on the same sort of level of teams like Texas State, like Southern, like UC Davis. And look what those teams did. They went into Cal and beat up on the Golden Bears. I think the Cal Golden Bears know this is going to be one of their few, chances left to have a winnable spot before they enter Pac-12 play. But I don't think that matters. I think this is a bad Cal team that's going to struggle to score. And last time I checked, when you struggle to score, it makes it a little bit hard to cover numbers even at home. This Eastern Washington team, you go back, it's a lesser Eastern Washington team than we've seen in years past. But they're still 37-17-1 against the spread in their last 55 road games. I'm going to take the points here with Eastern Washington. I'm going to put a little bit on Eastern Washington money line as well.
All right, Chris here on Eastern Washington, plus 3.5 here against this Cal team who's yet to win a game. And as you mentioned, it's been some really ugly performances here by this Golden Bears team. And, it's just, again, it all started with UC Davis, right? That was a questionable line there. I remember that first game. I think that was my pick here on the drive for that Monday, taking UC Davis. I couldn't believe how they made California favorite in that game. And it's been ugly ever since. I mean, they were competitive against UC San Diego, but again, they're not winning, right? They were on the road losing that game too. Southern, the Pac-12 had a hard time with the SWAC this year. I think Arizona State also took a loss in that Pac-12 versus SWAC.
Yeah, it was Texas Southern. I remember Texas Southern won by 1. I think it was in overtime. But Cal, it's not just the SWAC. Cal's had trouble with everybody this season. Just look at some of their numbers. 337th in effective field goal percentage, 332nd in turnover percentage. They're turning the ball over almost once every 4 possessions. And Eastern Washington, they haven't been great defensively. The numbers, you'd like to see them improve a little bit on the offensive side, but they're still shooting 52.1% from 2-point range, and that's much better than Cal's mark shooting under 45%. So just everything here to me points to Eastern Washington. So I have no idea why they're underdogs in this one.
All right, Eastern Washington plus 3.5 against Cal. This one will have a start time here of 10 Eastern time over on Pac-12 All right, Chris, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for tonight's action, where you're doing fantastic work here. We take a look here, 2,345 units of profit here in the NHL. That is all documented over at Pick Dogs. I'm also showing profit for this year, last 30 days, coming off a winning day yesterday. Chris is doing fantastic work over at Pick Dogs, showing profitable results in NBA and NFL as well. So tonight we got 11 game NBA card. We've got NHL up there, college hoops. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
I got a fair bit of stuff on the go tonight. You mentioned the NHL. Got my $15 NHL power play on the board. Also have my NBA fast break on there. My favorite NBA play on the board as well, on a 10-2 run in the NBA. And you mentioned college hoops. I got my college hoops 5-point swing. My 5 best bets on the board from college hoops tonight. It's a very good card, and I've sifted through and I've picked out the 5 that I really like for this Wednesday. But if you're looking, rather than buying everything individually, hop on something long term. I believe it's pretty much the same price, and you get an extra 2 days worth of action. All the NHL, NBA, college basketball you can handle. This is just, to me, this is just a great value that you can hop on. Like I said, whether it's just with me or someone else, part of the 2-for-1 capper deal, definitely something that you don't want to miss out on.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Chris Ruffolo over at Pick Dogs. You see the great results here, 2,345 units of profit in the NHL, fully documented over at the site. Chris with an NBA fast break as a featured play up there, individually priced there for $25. Of course, that is a credit guarantee. Must turn the profit or the amount you purchase is credit back into your account for site credits. That is credit guarantee. Also with his $15 premium pick here from the NHL as well. And of course, a lot of plays up there from Chris, including a 5-pack right now up on the board from Chris. But again, as Chris was mentioning, the long-term passes will serve you well. You want to try them out. There is a 3-day pass up there. Get all of Chris's plays here from the major sports city handicaps, right? We got ML, we got NBA, NHL, college basketball right now under those 3 days, as well as the NFL on Thursday night is in action. That's one option there, is a 3-day pass, or the way Chris is running, you may consider that monthly all sports pass that covers all 41 bowl games, right? Because this will take you to January 5th. So we got all the bowl games covered, as well as 2 of the playoff games as well. All of his NFL, NBA, NHL, of course the Christmas Day games from the NFL, the Christmas Eve games. They just announced those 3 games. A lot of action coming up here in December. We've got a lot of college basketball in conference play right around the New Year. So it's a good time to get on board with that 1-month all sports pass. Use the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. You can also add a second capper with that. 2-for-1 capper promotion, even greater value there. Chris, it's always great having your show. Keep up the great work. We'll talk with you again next week. But I know you contribute a lot over on Pick Dogs with your writing, as well as the morning show, and of course that Puck Dog show with you and Rod.
Yeah, Rod and I are having a great time getting those NHL videos out. We're hitting a lot of winners on those, and like you mentioned, I'm doing a ton with all the other content we're putting out at Pick Dogs. Like I said, I'm really loving what I'm doing with Pick Dogs and even with the writing. Like I said, we wait for this time of year where the sleepless nights start to come in a little bit more frequently, but wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm absolutely loving it.
And the writing really keeps you in tune with everything, right? Looking at the box scores and you get a really good knowledge of all these teams.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I kind of pride myself on. It's just like you said, just being able to look at all the results. It keeps me in tune, keeps me sharp, and that's sort of I think just something that I'm thankful for that I've been able to do all these years, and it's definitely helped with the handicapping portion of it as well.
I know it can be a pain in the behind sometimes, but there is great value in writing, right?
100%. Like I said, some nights where I'm just sitting there burning the candle, and I'm like, I just want to be done. But then it's like you sit there, and then all of a sudden that light bulb goes off, and you find a game. You're like, how did I miss this? And it's a great feeling. But it's like I said, wouldn't trade it for anything. It's been some of the best time of my life doing stuff like this at Pick Dogs.
I've always said the hardest thing when you're sleepy is writing. Ever try it sometime? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Very hard to do. All right, Chris.
Oh man, I can tell you, sometimes you have the pillow under the back of your chair here, just that you're just like, okay, at least if I'm going to do this, I want to be at least a little bit comfortable. So.
No doubt. All right, Chris, have a great rest of the week. We'll talk with you again next week.
Sounds good, Tony. Have a good one.
You got it. Chris Ruffolo here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on. We got a good show tonight. Lots of guests. Let's go over to the Skype world. Welcome in Jay, who's coming in on the fill-in. So we'll bring in Jay Briggs. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs. Prim, hope you're catching his video series over at Pick Dogs with his NBA Jam session, giving you a pick on every NBA game every single day with Jay. So be sure to tune in and like and subscribe and set those notifications, I should say. So when Jay drops that video, you're there to get it. Let's go ahead and bring him in right now. Oh, got to go back to the Skype world with Jay now. Let's get it in right now. Get it right. Here we go, Jay. What's happening?
What's going on, Tony? Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Here we go tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We have the Grizzlies hosting the Pistons. Pistons here in a back-to-back spot. They'll be heavily big dogs here. We got Grizzlies lane 11, total 229.
Yeah, Tony, I can't hear you.
All right, let's see here. We can get this corrected here. Why don't you go ahead and just do the game? We'll fix that. There we go. You can probably hear me now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, there we go. All right,
but yes, sir, Tony. How you doing? I'm on the.
Everything's great, man. Things are great. Okay, no complaints. We're looking forward to the card tonight. Good NBA, good college hoops action. And of course, you'll be looking at this Grizzlies Pistons game. Of course, the Grizzlies. I'm sorry, not the Grizzlies. We've got the Pelicans here. Pelicans are laying 11. Total sits here 229.
Yes, sir. I'm looking at the Pelicans here tonight, and I'm gonna lay the 11 here with them. The Pelicans have just been really dominant here at home recently, even without Brandon Ingram in the lineup. Zion Williamson has been playing at a high level. We go look at their last few games for the Pelicans. They played the Nuggets in their last one, 121-106. San Antonio on the road, 117-99. Toronto, the game before that, at home, 126-108. OKC, 105-101. So the last three, they've been really dominant, not playing with teams taking them behind the shed. Here tonight, I know the Pistons have been playing better here recently. They beat Miami just last night on the road in Miami, but I don't necessarily like them in a back-to-back spot here, facing a good Pelicans team, like I said, who's been playing their great basketball at home all season. I think this is a spot where we just continue to roll with the Pelicans, and I'm somebody who's been high on them all season. I've been telling y'all when Zion returns and he finally gets healthy and gets back in that flow, he's a top 5 player. He definitely has the potential to be. And I don't want to be fading the Pelicans, especially not at home. So we're going to ride with them. We're going to lay the big number.
All right. Jay says go ahead and lay it here with the Pelicans. Lay the 11 here against the Pistons. Pistons in one of those tough spots here, back-to-back after getting that victory here. You know, when we look at this Pelicans team, I know they've been without Brandon Ingram, and that was a really concern for me. How can they get by without Ingram in the lineup? I mean, we saw what happened last year without Ingram, and they were losing just about every game. One of the worst starts we've seen last year. But now that you got a healthy Zion in there, you get McCollum in there now. We got him for a full season, not just half a season, Valanciunas. So you got a pretty good core of players there, even without Ingram in there. And of course, Bogdanovich has been really helping. If you got the Pistons, Bogdanovich's been somebody that helps you get that cover with his shooting. But again, this is a back-to-back spot here for them.
Like you said, I love the addition for Bogdanovich for that Pistons team. That was a huge pickup in that fire sale that the Jazz were doing. I thought a few more teams should have looked at him like some contending teams, but he ended up on the Pistons, and he's been playing some good basketball. Here tonight, though, I don't love the spot, like we just said, on a back-to-back facing a Pelicans team that's dominant at home. Yeah, Brandon Ingram is out. He's been out for a while, and they just continue to hoop. I love the addition of McCollum for them, too. This is going to be a dangerous playoff team, this Pelicans team are, man, especially at full strength. They got some guys that play defense and shoot the long ball pretty well. So, we saw it last year in the bubble. You know, they kind of, we saw some flashes from this Pelicans team, and I think they're going to be dangerous this season. And here tonight, I'll lay the big number with them.
Yeah, a big step here, being able to play well without Ingram in the lineup, and that was the concern. You got McCollum, you got Williamson at full health here, so that's been the big difference here. Pelicans lane 11 here against the Pistons. This one will have a start time here of 8 Eastern time. All right, Jay, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for tonight's action. Of course, we got a lot going on. Showing great profit over the last 7 days, 1,096 units of profit. That is all documented over at Pick Dogs for the past 7 days, led by a really good NBA season here. 896 units of profit in the NBA. Good at NBA board tonight with the 11 games. We also have some college hoops. A little bit of ice you'll dabble into once in a while. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, no college basketball for me tonight. No ice for me tonight. All NBA. 5 plays tonight on the NBA, though. I love this NBA card tonight. Found me 5 plays. I got them broken down individually or in how you want it. I got a 5-pack up there with all of them you can grab. or you can grab my $15 NBA Jam Session play, which is my best bet in the NBA every night. $15. We've hit 3 in a row on that play, man, including last night with the Cavs. Y'all can see the units, man. We've been red hot in the NBA. We're seeing it really well this week. We're getting to that time in the season where the trends are the trends, and you start to find your patterns on your certain teams. And you just start to ride them, and the Pelicans kind of fit into that system for me tonight. So I like them free play. That probably should have been a premium for me tonight, but I got a 3-pack also in the NBA, 5-pack, my Jam Session play. So, or long term, that's the best way to go, or 2-for-1 capper special, man. I was joking with Big Al and Mitch, man, earlier. I'm on the Wednesday show with the heavy hitters, man. So pair me up with any of these guys on this show, man, or any of the guys on the other shows on the weekend or on the drive-through throughout the week on the 2-for-1 capper special. That's a great way to go, man. 2-for-1 for your value. Let's continue making some money here at Pick Dogs, Tony.
That's right. Get up over here with Jay Briggs over at Pick Dogs Prim. Great results here over the last 7 days, led by a very good run in the NBA. He got his NBA Jam Session up there. This is his $15 premium. It is sold at credit guarantee, meaning it must turn a profit or the amount you purchase is credited back in your account for side credits. That is credit guarantee. Also with that money-making 3-pack from Jay, a 3-pack here from the NBA, midweek NBA and mega pack as well, 5-pack up there. So Jay's in heavy action tonight. But, instead of buying these plays individually, you may just try them out here for a 7-day pass or that 1-month all sports pass, which we've been talking about, because here we are in December 7th, and we're not too far away from 41 bowl games the next 3 weeks. So that's all part of that 1-month all sports pass when you get Jay's 1-month pass, and that's a way to roll. You get all of Jay's bowl games as well as the NBA into college basketball, NFL. He'll throw some hockey once in a while in there. Maybe even some World Cup. We'll see how he rolls there as we head into the quarterfinal rounds. But anyway, get on board with Jay with that 1-month pass. Use that promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. And as Jay mentioned, add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Jay, as always, great having you show. Thanks for filling in today. And, of course, we'll talk with you again tomorrow. But I know you have a lot going on at Pick Dogs. We check out your video series every day with your NBA Jam Session. Of course, you just shot the NFL show with you, Big Al, and Mitch.
Yes, sir. Check out my Jam Session. I go through every play, or every game, I should say, on the NBA every night. I give out a side or a total and just a little analysis that I think you guys should know for the night. So check out my Jam Session. Check it out for tonight, too. 11 games. We haven't started yet, so you can get it in after you watch the drive-through tonight. And check me out tomorrow. I think we got like 3 games tomorrow on the NBA, so check that out. Check out the NFL show I just shot with Big Al and Mitch, man. Love doing that show with those 2 guys every week, man. A lot of information, different ways of looking at it from all 3 of us. So great show. Check that out. Watch all the stars come out tonight on the drive-through, man, and make some money.
Make some money indeed with Jay Briggs over at Pick Dog Film. The Jam Session, check it out. Make sure you like, subscribe, set those notifications. So when Jay drops that NBA Jam Session, you're one of the first to watch it to get the best numbers with those great picks. All right, Jay, have a great evening. We'll talk with you again tomorrow.
See y'all tomorrow.
You got Jay Briggs here on the drive-through. Guys, reminder, if you miss any of our picks, we'll do a complete recap here at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Time to welcome in Big Al McMordie. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Prim, having a fantastic 2022 over at Pick Dogs. Bring him in right now. Big Al, how's it going?
Going great. I'm in a really good mood now that Michigan avoided Ohio State in the semifinals.
Oh yeah,
that was going to be my nightmare scenario.
Oh yes. You get past TCU and you're looking at the Georgia or Ohio State.
I'll take Ohio State in the finals. I just didn't want them in the semifinals.
That would be a good spot, because that means they're coming off a physical battle with Georgia, and then
just means they're coming off a win.
That's it.
I just didn't want them coming. I don't care. You just don't want to go against Ohio State off that loss.
No, indeed. All right, tonight we're going over the college hoops at 9 Eastern time. ESPNU has SMU hosting Arizona State. The Sun Devils here laying 5 on the road, total 136.
Yeah, I mean, they come into this non-conference game off a conference win over Stanford, and Arizona State is now 8-1 on the season. But college basketball road favorites of -4 or more points, if they're off a conference win, and if they have a win-loss percentage better than 875, they've covered just 20% of non-conference games going back to 1990. This is a horrible situational spot for Arizona State, playing out of conference off that conference win. It's an easy call for me on SMU.
All right, Big Al says go ahead. Numbers tell you go ahead and take in this one SMU here and take the 5 points here against Arizona State. Yeah, it's Arizona State team really had their struggles getting separation here against a Stanford team that has some struggles this season and hurt the feelings of many people who were on them in the last game out.
Yeah, but still, I mean, when you look at their body of work as a whole, Arizona State's been fantastic on the season. I think they're like covering the spread by an average of like 6 or 7 points a game. So, they're playing just fine. They've rewarded their backers in Vegas just fine. But this is just not the right spot to take Arizona State.
All right, we got that's right. And they'll be playing Creighton on Monday. But again, no such thing as look-ahead spots anymore. Every game's on television.
Well, even if they weren't on television, I'm not gonna. Everyone has a different way of looking at things, but I've talked about it here, I think, on the show. The data does not support the look-ahead concept.
Does not at all. So those of you who haven't caught Big Al,
or the better way to say it is, yes, teams look ahead, but they don't play worse.
Right, that's right. No doubt. That's what I mean. Now that everything's on television, that's what I'm saying. It's a different spot. Before these games used to be hidden. I don't even think they were originally televised.
Even in 1980, the teams didn't play worse on look ahead in those situations. So the data has never supported that concept. And the data actually shows that teams play better before big games than worse.
There you go, from Big Al McMordie there with the years and years and decades of data there to go with SMU +5 against Arizona State. This one will have a start time here of 9 Eastern time over on ESPNU. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium for tonight's action. Of course, we do have an 11-game NBA card, lots of college hoops as well, NHL with a big card as well. What do you have going over at Pick Dogs Premium?
I've got 2 triple packs today in college basketball. I've got a 3-dog night, so a triple pack of underdogs, and I've got a triple pack of favorites. So depending on if you like to play the dogs or like to play chalk, you can pick up either or both of those. Nothing in hockey, nothing in the NBA. I'm 18-6 my last 24 in college basketball, so doing quite well. And then, of course, I've also already posted some NFL and college football actually for the weekend. I've got the Army-Navy winner. And then I've already posted my NFL division game of the year. I've already hit 4 NFL division games of the year, so hopefully this will be winner number 5 on Sunday. It's a great play.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Big Al McMordie over at Pick Dogs. You see the numbers, nearly 2,500 units of profit here for 2022, showing great profit this year in college hoops, NBA profitable, NFL, college football, doing great work over at Pick Dogs, winning major sports winner here from Big Al. Get on board tonight. He does have an NBA hoops 3-dog night, as he mentioned, as well as Army-Navy winner up there, NFL divisional game of the year on the board, college hoops 3-pack. But instead of buying all these plays individually, you may consider that 1-month all sports pass. As we mentioned, that 1-month pass will cover all 41 bowl games when you get that 1-month pass, as well as all of his NFL, NHL, NBA, and college hoops there from Big Al for 1 month. That's a great value there. Use the promo code PICK at checkout and you'll be able to save 15% off. You can also add a second capper with that 2-for-1 cap promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Big Al, as always, great having you show. We'll talk with you again tomorrow. But I know things changing a bit here in college football. We know you have those years of data, but of course, with all these players opting out of these bowl games, it's kind of a little tricky the past couple of seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually been so knee deep in college basketball. I haven't even paid attention to the bowl games yet, so I'll get into that, maybe on the weekend or something. So, I know the one Ohio State receiver. I don't even know if he was going to play anyway because I think he was injured.
Yeah, he was injured. Yeah, he had declared already. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll look at all that stuff in a week when it becomes more relevant.
Yeah, a lot of news here with this USC-Tulane game in Alabama. I think Alabama and both USC won't be motivated for these games. You're going to hear a lot of that talk from some of these shows. So we'll see how that. We'll see how that rolls. All right, Big Al, let's get to your business there, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
Okay. Adios. Bye.
Adios. Big Al McMordie here on The Drive. So we'll continue on. Guys, if you missed any of our picks, we'll recap at the end of the show, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here. Next up, we're going back to the Skype world and bringing Al Ninos. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll see. We're bringing Al Ninos in right now. I think he's ready to roll, so we got to make sure we catch him on the Skype. Here we go on the Skype. Al Ninos, what's happening?
How you doing, Tony?
Doing great. All right, here we go tonight. We're going to the NBA here at 7:40 Eastern Time. We have the Nets here hosting the Hornets, with the Nets laying 10.5 with a total of 222.
Yeah, pretty, well, it should be a fairly one-sided matchup. It's 10-point favorites at home. The Nets should win this one pretty comfortably, but still don't want to be laying that many points with them. They are the better team, and the Hornets will be missing some of their guards, but I think Terry Rozier can play some pretty heavy minutes and at least keep his team in this game within the single digits. The Hornets have played these Nets pretty well lately. They've actually won 2 of the last 4 matchups straight up. They got a push in the last one. The spread was 4, no Kyrie Irving in that one. But they did win the previous matchup. It was 7-point underdogs. They won that one outright by 9. Kyrie did play that one. And I think definitely wouldn't be shocked if the Nets lost. But actually, I do expect them to win the game. I just think the Hornets keep this one within single digits. So I'm taking the 10 points with the Hornets here.
Now, Ninos says take the 10.5 here against the Hornets against the Nets, and we have seen a little better form here from Brooklyn at home. Remember, after that, they lose to the Celtics. Celtics are a really hot team. The Nets had won 6 straight until that loss to the Celtics. So you take a look at that past 7 games. This Nets team has been defending well on their home court, allowing just 103 points per 100 possessions, but only scoring 113 per 100. So, the defensive play is coming in, but the offense has not been as strong here for the Nets at home. But again, the defense has been solid for them.
Yeah, I mean, you expect a lot of offense from Kyrie and Durant, 2 of the best scorers in the game. So I'm sure they'll get their offense rolling eventually. But again, 10 points in the NBA is still 10 points, and the Hornets, as I said, they like to play these Nets pretty tough. So I expect another fairly competitive matchup here. I do think the Nets win at home, but again, 10 points seems a bit too much here. It is juiced as well. I don't know. It feels a bit rich for my blood, and I think I did have one last thing about this.
Yeah, the Hornets in that loss, they did lose to the Clippers. Clippers had their guys back, right? They had Leonard, they had Paul George back. Didn't have Powell, who's been a key contributor for the Clippers off the bench. But they did shoot the ball well, 48% against the Clippers, a team that is strong defensively. So you did get some offense out of them. You see Oubre always there amongst the leaders. And, of course, you've had P.J. Washington coming off that awful game he had. I think it was like 0 for 13, but he turned it around here against the Clippers with a better performance.
Yeah, I mean, they kept that game really close, almost won that one, only lost out by 2. As I said, with this, considering the Clippers stars were back, that's a pretty good result here. And I don't know if they can keep this one that close. It's going to be pretty tough, but hey, I wouldn't be surprised. So we're getting a lot more points than 2, so I like them to at least show a little something and, put up a little fight for us.
Throwing something here, Hornets plus 10.5 against it. Go ahead.
If you do like the Nets, I'd probably take them in the first quarter. I've seen minus 3.5 in the first quarter, but again, I'd rather just take the 10 points with the Hornets in the full game.
He likes the Hornets here, 10.5 against the Nets. So this one will have a start time here of 7:40 Eastern Time. All right, Ninos, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Sprint for tonight's action. Good NBA card up there for you. Lots happening in the NBA, a lot of NHL as well. We've got college basketball on the board with some plays as well. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Got a bit of everything. Had a 3-pack in the NBA, just 1 play in the NHL, 1 play in college basketball. Got them all sold individually, but again, getting a long-term pass or a 2-for-1 capper special is definitely your best way to go if you want to get all the plays.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with El Ninos over at Pick Dogs Premium. Right now up on the board, his featured play is at the NBA Wednesday 3-pointer. His 3-pack from the NBA, so get on board with that. Of course, that is credit guarantee. Must turn a profit or the amount you purchase is credit back in your account for site credits. That is credit guarantee. Also in action here with El Ninos, He does have an NHL power play up there. A lot of these plays are sold individually on his pass, as well as an individual play from college basketball. So get on board there again. But as we mentioned before, a good time to get the long-term pass. 7-day pass is a good way to try them out. But again, with the Bulls coming up, your best value here is definitely getting on board with a 1-month all sports pass here from El Ninos. Get all of El Ninos premium plays for a month. All his baseball. I'm sorry, all his basketball. It's like NBA, college basketball. I'm thinking about Judge's signing right now. But anyway.
Man, you got me all excited. I thought I missed the start of the season.
Winter League. Now there's Winter League going on. But anyway, you got that going on with the El Ninos. Also the bowl games. So you'll have all 41 bowl games in that 1 month period of time. Yes, they get these bowl games in as we start up next week. But that 1 month pass will cover all the bowls with El Ninos over at Pick Dogs Premium. Use that promo code PICK at checkout and you'll save 15% off. All right, Al, as always, great having your show. Keep up great work there, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Tony. Have a good one.
You got El Ninos here on the drive-thru. Reminder, guys, if you miss any picks, we'll recap at the end of the show. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Up next is Rod Zawacky, then followed by Rod Zawacky will be Dana Lane, who's just signed in. So Dana Lane is signed in, then we'll close it out with Mitch. So let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Next up will be Rod Zawacky. Been good to us here on the drive-thru. Bring him in right now. Rod, what's happening? All right, here we go. Ready?
Ready to go. Having a good Wednesday. The temperature dropped like 30 degrees, so now it's only minus 12. It's almost time to bring out the shorts and T-shirt.
There we go. That's right. Get your sun.
Minus 50 to minus 12. It's like, woo, the sun's out.
Yeah, the sun's out.
Yeah, right?
There you go. Get the sunblock ready. Because you get that sunburn. Even cold days reflect from the snow.
Oh, yeah, big time. You had to put some sunblock on my face today. Otherwise, I'd be burnt.
There we go. Tonight, we're going to the NHL. We got Rod in that Oilers cap here. Oilers here to host the Coyotes. Oilers laying 285, total 6.5.
Yeah, and you look at this game. Connor Ingram's going to get the start for the Coyotes in goal, and he's definitely not had a good season. Not as bad as Jack Campbell has had his season, but hey, this guy's actually done a little better than Campbell. Not a whole lot, but just a smidge. He's 1-5-1 to start the year with 4 goals against average and an .882 save percentage. That's not going to get the job done tonight. Skinner's getting the start in goal for these Oilers, and he's definitely been picking up the slack since Campbell's been off in La La Land, still maybe figuring he's still on summer vacation. It's time to wake up, buddy. When the hockey season's a quarter over, it's time to earn your $5 million. But just look at this team, and the Oilers have dominated the Coyotes. Last season, they won all 3 meetings. They easily covered the puck line in all 3 of those meetings, outscoring the Coyotes 16-5 in those 3 games. And you look at the Oilers, they're 24-7 the last 31 at home versus a team with a losing record. So this is the games that the Oilers love to get up for at home and beat up on these games that they should win. They do win. They're 25-12 the last 37 on home ice. And you look at these Coyotes, and they haven't fared so well against the Pacific. 6-23 the last 29 versus the Pacific Division. They're also 16-44 the last 60 versus the Western Conference. Coyotes are going to get pounded tonight. Take the Edmonton Oilers on the puck line in this one.
All right, we got Rod here with a puck line play here. Oilers puck line minus 1.5 goals here against the Coyotes, and of course the Coyotes, a team that's really had struggles to score. And when you kind of look at the Oilers, they have had there's a lot. These games are high scoring. May just be on their end, because when you look at the Oilers facing teams that are below 400 a 400 win percentage, they've gone over in 8 straight against the bad teams.
Oh, correct. Yeah, it's not like the Oilers are holding up their end on the defense as well. You look, this is the one place that the Coyotes might have a little bit of an edge. They have a little bit of a better edge on defense, not a whole lot. They have a little bit better edge on the power play, but if the Coyotes get themselves in penalty trouble, they're in trouble, because this Oilers power play is 3rd ranked in the NHL, and they'll start ripping the goals in past you on the power play, no problem. So Coyotes do not want to get themselves in penalty trouble in this one if they want to have any hope, and I think that's their only hope.
Yeah,
stay out of the box.
Stay out of the box. But the Coyotes' offensive form won't be able to keep up with the scoring barrage here from the Edmonton. I think that's what you're banking on, right?
Oh, correct. Because that's what the Oilers have been doing. They're they've been relying on Skinner to make it enough saves to hold teams to 2 or 3 goals, where the Oilers score 5 and 6 goals in spots. Like last time Skinner was out, he made 50 saves. That game could have been way more lopsided than what it was. He kept him in it, and that's what he's done all season. Kept him in it and give him a chance to win. And against the Coyotes, it's going to be. I like the over as well. It's I'm not going to hide it. Definitely going to see some goals in this. But they're going to be a little bit lopsided on this side.
Lopsided one way
6-2 tonight.
Yep, not being able to keep up with the scoring there. Oilers puck line -1.5 goals, -115 against the Coyotes. This one will have a start time here of 9:37 Eastern time. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Shrimp for tonight's action. We got a good NHL board, lots from the NBA as well here, as well as action from college hoops. Going great results in the NHL here for 2022. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Hey, and for me over here at Pick Dogs Premium, I got my $15 NBA slam dunk. That's my top play in the NBA. Or I've got college basketball birdcage, my top 3 plays that I love in tonight's college basketball action. You can pick that up. Or I've got a mixed sport where you get 3 plays. One in the my lone play in the NHL tonight, my NBA action, or play in college basketball. You got a nice mixed sport triple of Bookie Busters there. Head on over to Pick Dogs Premium and scoop them all up. Instead of buying all those packages, like we say, now's the time. Grab a 3-day, grab a 7-day, grab a 30-day, or take advantage of that 2-for-1 capper deal. As I'm not the only one that's been hot on sports. There's many of us cappers that have been making us money. So head on over to Pick Dogs Premium. Use that promo code PICK. Save 15% off all your purchases over at of $25 or more over at Pick Dogs Premium. And let's make some more Christmas money.
Indeed. Get on board with Zawacky over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the results for NHL showing great results. Get on board. $15 NBA slam dunk is Rod's feature play over at Pick Dogs. $15 credit guarantee. Must turn a profit or the amount you purchase is credit back in your account. That is credit guarantee. Birdcage up there from college hoops. A 3-pack as Rod was talking about. And of course, we can talk to you about the long-term passes. Rod mentioned the 7-day pass, the 1-month pass, get you all the bowl games, right? 41 bowl games. We'll get through. All that left is a championship game, but to get all the bowl games with that 1-month pass, all the NFL, the Christmas Day NFL, the Christmas Day NBA, all the great bowl games leading up to New Year's as well in that 1-month all sports pass. It expires on January the 6th. So 30 days of coverage from Rod. Get on board. Use the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. And as Rod mentioned, add a second capper for the 2-for-1 capper promotion is your best value there. All right, Rod, as always, great having you show. Keep up the great work. We'll talk with you again tomorrow. And of course, we want to make note of that morning show that you're on every day. We can catch you there at 10 a.m. Eastern time with Mitch and with Chris. And of course, the Puck Dogs with you and Chris doing the videos.
Yeah, definitely tune into the morning show with me, Chris and Mitch. Always have a good time going over the day's card. Sometimes you'll learn some new information as well. Not only about sports. Sometimes we tell you about, hey, what's that ingredient in that ice cream over there? Sometimes we do that as well. So, but also check out the Puck Dogs. Me and Ruffolo definitely having a good time doing the videos on all the NHL action and coming up with a Puck Dogs parlay as well. And also in the chat, I dropped a link over. It's that time of year. It's Capper Contest. It's the 3rd annual. I dropped a link in the chat. You can head on over to Instagram to sign up. You got till Friday before things kick off for the first day 1 of the Cappers Contest 3rd annual on Saturday. So definitely hit that link below if you think you got what it takes. Definitely join us and see if you can get the winners and have a good month. So
that's right. Join the contest.
Maybe right up here with us on the drive-thru.
That's right. They'll be right here in the drive-thru and all the other shows. Maybe have a video series as well. So get on board here, guys, with the contest, the December 10th start date, and get signed up. See the link there to the Instagram to get signed up. All right, Rod, as always, great having you show. Keep up the great work. We'll talk with you again tomorrow.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tony. Great to be here. Appreciate everybody. Smash that like button. Cost you nothing. Helps us out a ton. And we'll see good out with all your bets tonight. And we'll see everybody tomorrow morning. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
All right.
Take care.
Right. Take care. Rod Zawacky here on the drive-thru. Guys, reminder, if you miss any picks, we're seeing a lot of people sign in. We'll recap every play here on the show at the end. Let's continue on here next time. Next up is Dana Lane. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Let's bring Dana in right now. He was doing fantastic work up there over at Pick Dogs. You guys check out his numbers. Dana, what's happening?
Hey, Tony, how are you?
Awesome. All right, here we go tonight, 8 Eastern time. Buffalo Sabres on the road here facing Columbus. Sabres favorite here, $1.65, total 6.5.
Yeah, listen, I look at this number this morning and I just see, and I hear guys talk about how they are just going to go and ride this over streak with the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, they're scoring goals at will. And I just say, guys, you gotta hang tight on this for a second. We're still talking about the Buffalo Sabres. I know that they've had a resurgence. They're 4-2-1 in their last 7 games. I know that they scored 6 goals against the Sharks, and every trend basically points to the over. But that's when I see things like that. That's when I tend to look at the other side because, first of all, you're getting plus money on the under tonight. And second of all, Columbus knows that they cannot stay with Buffalo for 60 minutes, if even on a tear. I mean, when the Buffalo's on a tear, Columbus has nothing offensively. They're a one-line team. They're top line, and then the rest of it is absolutely garbage. There's no way that they're going to be able to stay with them. So tonight is going to be about puck control, and I know that Luukkonen and Korpisalo are the goaltenders tonight. And I know Luukkonen's numbers, both of their numbers are absolutely horrible. But a lot of times when I see 2 goaltenders whose numbers are horrible, I tend to go the other way because both teams know that they need to protect their goaltenders because they cannot rely on them. They don't want to get them caught. They can't bring defensemen up into the play knowing that their goaltender is going to bail them out. So when you have 2 goaltenders that are like that, I tend to go with the under, and that's the way I'm going to go with this game tonight. I think it's fairly obvious, and Tony, I continue to look at this number, and it just keeps on giving me more plus money.
All right, Danny here on Buffalo Columbus under total of 6.5. It just goes to tell you how people love overs instead of unders because Columbus is on a 6-game under streak.
No, that's exactly right. That's right. I pointed out today. I said, hey, a friend of mine, he says, hey, Buffalo is, they're over four straight games and they're on the tear. They scored 6 against San Jose. I mean, who doesn't score 6 against San Jose? And Columbus is on this under tear. And the fact of the matter is, I've talked about this many times. I look to teams' power plays when I'm going over the total. And if I don't have 2 teams that I can rely on, and certainly Columbus is not a team I can rely on at 32nd in the league. They're way down there, like 30th in goal scores. Listen, Buffalo can give me 5. I don't even know if Columbus can give me 2. So I'm not going all in as the betting public looks like that they're doing, even though I got 2 goaltenders with horrible numbers.
Yeah, Columbus held the 2 goals or fewer in 6 of 8. So there you go. It's hard to trust there. Columbus getting pucks in net. Dana here on Buffalo Columbus under a total of 6.5. This one will have a start time here at 8 Eastern time. All right, Dana, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Print for tonight's action. Of course, Dana Lane will bring up the numbers. He's been doing great work up there. You see it here, 1,205 units over the last 7 days. Dana's been on a tear over at Pick Dogs tonight. We got a good hockey card, good NBA card, as well as some college hoops. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Well, absolutely scorching hot in college basketball right now. It is. It's one of those runs again. And tonight we have our 3-pack up where you're guaranteed to profit or you get a site credit. So you got to win 2 of those 3. And on top of that, you get the 3 winners, but you also get a massive discount off of buying them on an individual basis. So that's very popular. NFL is going great. We'll have NFL up this weekend and trying to kickstart the NBA season a little bit tonight. We have some NBA plays that are up as well. But overall, probably one of the best stretches of the year is happening right now.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with Dana Lane over at Pick Dodge. Been on fire here. 1,205 units of profit. Last 7 days showing great profit here in college basketball. Great profit in the NFL. As Dana was talking about, plays up there right now over at Pick Dogs. He's locked and loaded here with the packages for you. A lot of individual plays up there we can see here from Dana, as well as a whale winner as well. And of course, as we were talking about, the long-term passes are your best value. The way Dana's running, you must consider that 1 month all sports pass. Get all of Dana's premium plays for 1 month. Includes all his college hoops, all the NBA, and don't forget the NFL, right? We got NFL, of course, those Christmas Day NFL games, those Christmas Days NBA. Includes all of the bowls, right? We got 31 bowls. Well, that 41 bowls, that's covered in the first in this 30-day all sports pass when you get on board with Dana Lane, NHL as well. So a great time to get on board with Dana Lane over at Pick Dog Premium. The promo code is PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. Add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there, right? Dana, as always, great having you show. Keep up that great work, and we'll talk with you again next week or sooner if you feel
Tony,
it.
I hope you have a great week. Thanks for having me, and let's make some more money this week.
Exactly. Let's make some more money here. Dana Lane here on the drive too. Let's continue on. Guys, if you miss any picks, we'll recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on. Next up, Mitch. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, he's part of it. We'll have some news about the contest coming up. Bring in Mitch right now. I think he's getting his mic ready to roll here. Is the camera ready? He's getting it. Well, let's see. He's trying to find his wires. We don't want to put on camera yet until I get the thumbs up from him. So we'll give Mitch a little bit of time. We'll just let you know that he'll be looking at an NBA game tonight as the Suns and Celtics will be going at it here. There's been a bit of a new favorite here with some news. I think Mitch is ready to roll. Let's bring in Mitch right now. Mitch, what's happening?
Just doing what we do here at Pick Dogs. It's just like I was telling, I was talking with Al and Jay about on the NFL show. This time of year, it's like having two jobs. It's like we have our morning, where we have to do, what we do in the morning, and then at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock Eastern time, it kind of all starts all over again. And here we are. It's almost 7 Eastern time, still going. So it's a 12, 14, 15-hour day, but it's broken up. I had about 2 to 3 hours off this afternoon.
I can just imagine what your calendar looks like on your phone.
Yeah, and it's I in that time I had 2 meetings scheduled, so it was I had to bump the NFL show back a half hour.
Are you one of those that sets your alarm to ring you when something else is coming up?
No, I don't have any of those alarms or buzzards. I do have the calendar reminders, and that's about it. Just 10 minutes before the meeting.
There you go. At least give yourself 10 minutes time. My biggest worry just happened to all of us, right, is taking that nap.
Yeah, I'm worried I'm not going to wake up in time.
No doubt. All right, here we go tonight. We got the ESPN game night as the Suns here face the Celtics. This is one of those high-profile games. Some injury news here. Looks like Paul is a go. That was the latest word I heard today. That's why we've probably seen the shift in favor here with Phoenix here now laying the point. Total sits 230.
Yeah, I think, I don't think the points were going to factor either way. I just think that this is one of those games where it's like you have the team with the best record in the NBA last year in the Phoenix Suns. You have the team with the best record in the NBA this year in the Boston Celtics. And, I don't think we've seen the best of the Suns yet this season. I'm not sure if we've seen the best of the Celtics or not. What we haven't seen from the Celtics is the ability to play defense. And I think when you go on the road against the better teams, it doesn't really matter what sport you're playing. You have to be able to play defense, and I just think the Suns play a better defense. I think, with your offense and only offense, eventually you will come out of sync, and it usually comes at the least opportune time, and I think it happens tonight for the Celtics. I think the Suns are just a little bit too much, and I think, when you have the star power against star power, always go with defensive star power.
There you go. We got Mitch here going with the Phoenix Suns here, laying the point here against the Celtics. Of course, the Celtics, people may think, well, the Celtics have been bad spot proof. They beat Toronto. They've been on this hot spell, but that doesn't last forever. You come across a Chris Paul team now. It looks like Paul is going to play. The one thing I noticed here with the Celtics team is I know the Heat had trouble against them because they try to play the zones, and the perimeter shooting has just been on par here with the Celtics team. They're hitting their shots.
Yeah, the Heat played the Celtics on it wasn't back-to-back days, but it was back-to-back games in Boston. The first game was really competitive, and then the Celtics pulled away at the end of the game to cover the spread. It was almost like I had the Heat in that game, which I didn't have a bet on the game, but it's like, boy, I seem to lose a lot of those games where it's like I'm in it the whole way, and then the last minute, I end up not winning. It just seems they feel those the most. I'm probably on the other side of them as well, on the getting the covers. But the thing is that in the second game we saw the Heat kind of change that up and beat the Celtics in Boston. And I think I think when you're playing against the better teams, you have to be able to play defense. And I think the Suns can do that. And I think they can also hit those outside shots. Like you said, they have the veteran leadership in Chris Paul. They have the guy in Booker who can do the stuff that Tatum does. And I think, while Tatum is a leader scoring, I just think Booker's a little better defensively. I think it's, these are two good teams. If the game was in Boston, you'd be laying 4 with the Celtics easily.
Yeah, and at some point, someone's going to make the Celtics pay without having their big guy, Williams, down low. And they're also going to be without a big here in Horford out, too. So two big bodies down low out here for Boston.
Yeah, it's just, it's nice that we see this type of matchup in the NBA. I think earlier in the season, it looked like almost everybody in the NBA was good. We're starting to see some separation here at about the third of the way into the season. This is when it usually happens, and it's all part of it. And you will see a lot of these really good matchups of playoff teams. And I think that game in Memphis tonight that Big Al covered is another really good game as well. But the college hoop schedule has been off the chain. It's for me. It's like when you cover all the sports, you look at everything. It's like it just so happens that Gonzaga's played Baylor, Texas, and Michigan State already. It's like, and tonight that's just Penn State, Michigan State. It's a 6:30 Eastern time start because of everything else going on. Tomorrow it's like it's not a good schedule. Oh, except for
yeah. And we're getting these conference games earlier and earlier now. And it's mainly because of these networks, right? Big Ten Network, Pac-12 Network. They need content, so we're starting to see a lot of these conference games sprinkled in. Before it used to just be the Metro Atlantic with those early December games, but now pretty much everyone's in the game.
Yeah, tomorrow it's like, there's only 8 line games. Yeah, so it's not a great day, except for Iowa State, and Colorado State.
Yeah, that should be some exciting.
Ohio State, Rutgers, it's okay.
Yeah, we won't talk about Michigan, Minnesota, but still, Minnesota at home. They're only, we'll see how that one rolls. But Michigan,
they've in that type of spot, they've done okay over the years. Usually it's Michigan State that they usually rally for, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Suns here laying the point here. Before we get to, we'll talk a little bit more with Mitch. I know we're getting here to that witching hour, so let's just do the recap here, and then we'll talk with Mitch a little bit more here. So we'll go ahead and put the games up here as we are hitting here the top of the hour. So let's go ahead and get that information up for you here with the recap. Let's bring up the games for today. So we started off here. We'll actually go to the recap +1 with Mitch here. Here we go. Chris started off with Eastern. Washington +3.5 against Cal. Jay was on the Pelicans, laying 11 against the Pistons. McMordie, SMU +5 against ASU. Ninos was on the Hornets +10.5 against the Nets. Rod liked the Oilers puck line, laying the goal and a half, -115 against the Coyotes. Dana on Buffalo, Columbus under 6.5. Mitch on the Suns, lay the point against Celtics. I'll be on the Thunder with the 8 against the Grizzlies. All right, Mitch, other than your pick, which one do you like the best?
I like a lot of these, actually. I like Rod's Oilers on the puck line. I don't like having to lay odds and pucks, but I'm a little less averse to it in that respect. I think some of the other ones I disagree with. I like Chris Ruffolo's pick as well, and I do like your Thunder pick against the Grizz.
Thunder there, moving from the 6.5 up to the 8. Yeah, I like that one. And the one I like here is I like the SMU is a pretty good spot there against ASU. We'll see how ASU plays. Of course, they're playing defense this year, something we used to bash Hurley for the longest time.
Yeah, but this Arizona State team looks to be a little bit different than some of the Arizona State teams that we've seen in the past. And, we've seen them take care of business against some really, really good teams. SMU has not been good this year. They look like a far cry from the teams that we've seen in the past. It is a good spot. There's 2 games like this tonight that are very, very similar. There's this one, and then there's the Florida-UConn game.
Yes. Yes.
To me, these games are really, really similar, where you have traditionally strong programs that when they've come up against the better teams, they have really been on the business end of the beatdown. When we look at this SMU, against Arizona State, I just can't get there. I mean, losing by, 19 against Texas A&M, losing by, 4 to ULL in a game that they're favored. New Mexico by 19 as well. So they've been on the business end of a beatdowns. Dayton down by 12. I mean, most of these games were on the road except for the New Mexico game. But even so, Washington, I'm less than convinced with SMU this season. I think Arizona State, like you said, playing defense has got me a little bit more inspired about them. Number 5 in the country in shooting percentage against, number 6 guarding the perimeter. And I think that when when you're doing those things against the schedule that they've done it against, VCU, Michigan, Colorado, Stanford, I don't know. I think there's a little something to that. We'll find out tonight for sure.
Yeah, I'll find tonight in this road spot here. And they did go, what got my attention going into Colorado and winning. Those are not easy games for the Pac-12 to go into Colorado and Utah.
No, they're not.
That kind of woke my eyes up because I thought, okay, here we go. This will be the same old ASU team going into a road in conference, and nope, they showed up. Of course, they didn't get enough separation there against Stanford. That might have hurt a lot of people's feelings because I think people were on them on their last game.
Guilty as charged. That half a point got me. I got caught on the hook.
Yeah, got caught on the hook. We'll learn a lot about it. We'll learn a lot about UConn tonight. We'll learn a lot about Pittsburgh. Which Pittsburgh is it? Was the team we've seen recently, or was the team that began the season?
Yeah, there's some live dogs out there for sure tonight. We're gonna, this is what college basketball is all about. But a lot of times, some of these are public dogs, some of them not so public, and some of them, just head scratchers. I know that on Florida, UConn, there's a lot of differing opinions on this one, but I see a Florida team that got absolutely smashed by West Virginia, got beat by Xavier really bad. In all their step-up games, they've been stepped on. And for UConn, you beat Alabama. You've beaten some good teams in this one. They didn't run away and hide from Oklahoma State, but if you got it in right, you won on them. If you had Oklahoma State, the best you did was push.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's funny when you talk about where the sharp money is. It always depends on the time of the day. As you get closer and closer to the game time, I think that's when you really find the sharp money. And if you would have asked me about maybe 5 hours ago, Nebraska was the smart money side. Now we're seeing the sharps on the home team in Indiana in this one. So it really depends. When you get right down to it. Well, when we talk about where the sharp money is, I think you got to wait till the game starts. That's when we really find out, because this money, when you look at a game, 5-6 hours before game time, it's really tough to determine. You say, well, right now it is a sharp side, but really you find out right around game time.
Yeah, the sharps have been getting it handed to them too. It's about 50-50 on those games, and with the sharps, it's about getting in at the right number, not necessarily the right side. And and that's why, like, when we look at maybe the San Francisco game tonight against Merrimack, the sharps were in at 21. It doesn't mean they're in at 18.5.
That's right. And there's no doubt about that. And one game from last night that really got my attention, I wanted to see about the St. Louis-Iona game. And, boy, I was watching that last night, and St. Louis missing so many layups. It just seemed a little jitters there on the road.
That was my top play of the night, was Iona against St. Louis. And the reason why I felt confident was just that Rick Pitino at home with this Iona team, he understands what it takes to win at the highest level. And number one, it's winning the winnable games. But number two, it's winning at home in the games that you have a chance. That game, if it's on a neutral site, it's a coin flip. Maybe St. Louis is the better team. But the way Pitino coaches, he understands that at home, you got to have that one for the resume. You got to have it. If you're going to get in and not win, everything, and you're in Iona, you got to have that one.
The thing is that's what he's trying to do, right? He bit the bullet last year, losing that conference in the conference tournament, not getting that eligibility. He wants Iona to be like a Gonzaga. I know it's a high, hefty goal, but that's what he's pushing for. I can't blame him for that. And of course, he's trying to get in a situation where he can earn an at-large bid at some point with enough non-conference victories. Although some of the losses he took beforehand against Santa Clara, then he had another bad loss. I thought that might have ended their run as a possible at-large team with the first 2 losses in non-conference.
Yeah, there's a lot of basketball left to be played, and I think Iona's probably got a good shot to win their conference anyway. Yeah,
but the pressure is winning the conference tournament. That's the thing with being the Metro Atlantic. That's why I was wondering how long he can hang. They lost to Hofstra and they lost to Santa Clara. So those are losses that are going to hurt your resume going into getting into March, because again, the Metro MAAC Metro Atlantic, you're going to probably have to win your conference now that you've lost those 2 so far. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and there's some other teams in there that are a handful as well in the early going. I think Siena looks pretty tough.
Yeah, Siena is pretty. I don't know if they play those tournaments in Siena anymore, right? They used to play the conference tournaments in Siena. They used to always have that home court. They used to always have that home court advantage in that Metro Atlantic. But anyway, all right, Mitch, we got lots happening over at Pick Dogs. I know Rod was talking about the contest coming up.
Yeah, we have the Become a Capper contest, and I really encourage everybody that has ever thought about becoming a handicapper, or it says, how do I, become a handicapper, or anything like that. This is your time. This is your chance. This is your automatic bid. We sometimes will select other people that did well in the contest and were consistent, and we'll at least look at them. There are people that we have here at the site that did not win the contest, but were in the contest, and we we have them here. Some of the people that have won the contest are James Clark and Mills. Other people that did not win the contest, and we have at the site, Jay Briggs and Joe Vaughn. So these are handicappers that I would put up against anybody anywhere. And I think a lot of people feel that they are that good, at least with the emails that you guys send me and the messages you guys put on my YouTube videos. You feel that you have the chops to do it. There's a lot more to it than just putting in picks. If you're with Pick Dogs, obviously there's a lot more to it than just putting picks in on games every day. You have to do write-ups. You have to appear on these shows. And, I look forward to doing shows with, the next winner of the contest. Just look at the success that guys like Jay Briggs have had, and James Clark, and Joe Vaughn, and and it could be you. It could be a life-changing win, and I think those guys will all tell you it has been for them.
No doubt about that. So more information, get signed up there. Mitch, is going to be on Instagram this year?
Yeah, it's on Instagram. Rod is running the contest. I, of course, will oversee and, hopefully don't have to get overly involved in it. Rod knows how to run the contest. He runs it tough but fair, honest and fair. And I think that's the way to do it. Rod not always, in the best mood every day, and that's okay, as long as the contest is run fairly. No one's going to get a break that everybody doesn't get. It's just the way that the contest is set up. We did allow for a 1-day window for late entries this year. If you don't get your picks in on that opening Saturday, you will not be penalized for it. You will not get a score at all. But after that, if you miss a day, this year, the difference between this year and the previous 2 years contest, every year we've changed the contest. Last year we changed it that the highest plus money line you could take was plus 200. This year we left that in there. Plus 200 is the highest money line. Minus 200 is the most that you can lay, which is a little to the high side on professional handicapping. But nonetheless, I think it's fair, with all the different sports that are out there. And because believe me, if you give out enough of those, you will get roasted. And the thing is that what we changed this year is that if you don't enter your picks in one day, it's not minus 110, it's minus 330. So it's like getting 3 picks all wrong. And Tony will tell you, and he's seen these contests over the years, they come right down to the last day. They've come down to the last day every single year. That minus 330 will be the difference between you winning and losing.
Yep.
It will be. It will be.
No
if
doubt
you're in the
about that.
running, a minus 330, if you miss 3 of those, it's like missing 10 picks.
Mitch, when the bowl lines came out, did anything stand out to you? I think Georgia coming in at minus 6.5, minus 7 kind of got I thought they'd be a little bit higher than that. Would anything get your attention there? I know it's tough handicapping the bowls, especially now with the transfer portal situation, resting players getting ready for the NFL draft. But just anything really stand out to you?
I think the Louisville-Cincinnati game right out of the gate is one that we want to watch, the Keg and Nails game. And, of course, Louisville coach Satterfield leaving Louisville and going to Cincinnati is, certainly a wrinkle on the entire game. Makes it, a little bit more interesting. I love the Keg and Nails trophy that these two teams play for. They don't play every single year, so we don't get to see the keg broken out too often. But I'm going to guess that they will have the Keg and Nails out for this game as well. I think Cincinnati might have the trophy right now. I think some of the matchups are really good as well. Like you said, you got to really stick with it and watch because, I mean, this transfer portal is already getting out of hand. It's crazy. How does JT Daniels get to transfer again?
I know.
Why is that okay?
I know.
It's like, what do we?
You know what? He may get another year of eligibility still. They're still talking about
how is this? How is this what they meant to accomplish when they did the transfer portal? You know, how was this 4 schools in a college career? If I was, and you know, my argument on the weekend show was, if I'm a matriculating student, they're not going to accept my credits at that school when I transfer. They're not going to accept 100% of my credits. They're not interchangeable between all of these schools. They're just not. I don't care which ones they are or anything. They do not let you transfer credits that easily. Some of your classes, some of the credits will be transferable, but not all of them. Your chance of that happening 4 times is about 0.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. One line that also stuck out to me is UCLA laid almost a touchdown against Pittsburgh, 6.5. I don't think Dorian is going to play in this game. He's going to declare for the draft. I mean, this running style quarterback, why would you want to go up against that Pitt defense?
Well, I'll certainly have to watch that one, but the game I'm really looking forward to as well as Kansas State, Alabama. Yeah. I think that's going to be a really, really good game. The thing that we have to keep in mind is that so the NFL is running against the college football on January 2nd.
Yes.
So just one game. It's Monday Night Football, but they're running the Dolphins and the Bills are playing Monday Night Football on that day. Yeah, so I don't know.
The Sugar Bowl was moved. The Sugar Bowl
actually it's the Bengals and the Chiefs. Yeah. It's actually the Bengals and Bills.
Bills, that's right.
Bengals,
yeah.
Bills. So, but it looks like those games are early on that day, so maybe I'm off.
Well, what they're doing is the Sugar Bowl used to follow the Rose Bowl, so the Sugar Bowl is now a part of the playoff for this year. So there's no Sugar Bowl. So instead of the Sugar Bowl, they're going to Monday Night Football after the Rose Bowl, the way it's going to be. And the NFL is running Sunday.
Alabama?
The Alabama is going to be New Year's Eve, if I'm not mistaken. Here, let me go back and check here. New Year's Eve. It's the early game on New Year's Eve because you've got the 12 p.m. Eastern time, Kansas State, Alabama. At 4 Eastern is TCU, Michigan. At 8 Eastern is Ohio State, Georgia. That's your New Year's Eve lineup. With, of course, Iowa, Kentucky will be playing at the same time as Kansas State and Alabama on New Year's Eve. There are 4 games on New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Kansas State, Alabama. I like Kansas State in that game.
Yeah, that's a Sugar Bowl that's moving because they're going to play the Monday Night Football game there on Monday. So the Sugar Bowl moves to actually the Sugar Bowl's hosting a playoff, right? I believe. Yeah, they're moving the Sugar Bowl.
No, it's the Georgia Dome, Georgia against Ohio State.
Yeah, so
and then Michigan TCU is like the Fiesta or something.
Yes, and I think the Sugar Bowl is the Kansas State Alabama game, right? So they moved that Sugar Bowl to New Year's Eve day game instead of the night game. So for the Monday Night Football, they're going to give the NFL that spot. So
that stinks.
Let's just hope the Rose Bowl is a 5-hour game, 6-hour game, and then we missed the first half of the Monday Night Football game. That would be really cool.
Yeah. It's
sometimes those Rose Bowls go a long time. Sometimes they go a long time.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's some good matchups in here. You know, there's some not so good matchups either. I mean, because like you said with the portal. Anyways, everyone join the contest and win big. I look forward to working with the next top capper here at Pick Dogs.
Excellent. All right, Mitch. Have a great evening. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, Tony.
You got it. Mitch here on the drive-thru. Let's continue our coverage, guys. You got the recap. We'll do the recap again. Let me tell you why I like the Thunder in this game, and then we'll close out the show here. Let's go ahead and bring up the information, if you would. Here we'll put up my game card tonight as we're looking at this OKC Thunder. It was 6.5. It's now moved up to 8. There's a lot of people on this favorite, but it's not me. I like the Thunder here, plus the 8 here against the Memphis Grizzlies, and. Well, let me go ahead and bring up my notes for you guys as I'm involved in a lot of discussion here. So I just want to get my notes up here so I can give you some of the key points behind this game. As we know here, Bain continues to be out here for the Grizzlies. Shake Alexander has just been on fire here, right? 35 points. Josh Giddey is producing points, 17 in the last game. Of course, in that win against the Atlanta Hawks. So they come off a pretty good quality win. Do the Thunder. Let me just see the injury report here. It just looks like Dort is out. Dort's coming off the bench here. Williams, but we still have Bain out, still have Green out here for the Grizzlies. But we're getting production here out of Giddey, and we're getting production out of say Joe Alexander. So the Grizzlies, of course, coming off a win against Miami Heat. That OKC really getting a good combination of their offense and defense. So from 6.5, the line moving to 8. Now I'm going to take the 8 here with the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right, guys, check out Pick Dogs. Remember, got plays up on the board right now. Best bet from the NBA, also best bet from college basketball. So get on board. Also part of the 2-point cap promotion over at Pick Dogs. So you can match me up with another capper with my long-term passes. Of course, that 1-month pass is a great way to go right now because you get the 1-month pass. You get all my pre-and plays for a month here from NBA, NFL. All the 41 bowl games will be covered in that 1-month all sports pass, as well as college hoops. So get on board there right now. Use that promo code PICK at checkout, and you'll save 15% off. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Let's go back and do the recap again because we had done it earlier. Just to refresh you guys. Chris was on Eastern Washington, plus the 3.5 against Cal. Jay was on the Pelicans, laid the 11 against the Pistons. Al McMordie, SMU, plus 5 against Arizona State. El Ninos on the Hornets, plus 10.5 against the Nets. Rod likes the Oilers puck line, lay the goal and a half, minus 115 against the Coyotes. Dana was on Buffalo, Columbus, under 6.5. Mitch on the Suns, laying 1 against the Celtics. I'll be on the Thunder, plus 8 against the Grizzlies. The one I like the most, I think the Pelicans have been pounding teams, right? The Pelicans have been pounding teams at home. And it's a tough spot here for the Pistons in a back-to-back spot. And I know, let me make sure, Cunningham is out again. He's been out for a while here for this Pistons team. But yeah, Cunningham and Lever's out of this one. So that's why we'll go with Jay Briggs' pick on that one. He's been hot, by the way, if you check out Pick Dogs. That'll do it for this edition of the drive-thru, guys. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow live here at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers in from Pick Dogs and SCP Betting, and they'll give out their live picks for the games in prime time. Don't forget to get started every day in the morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We got Mitch with Chris and with Ron Zawacky with that morning show. Don't forget all the video series with Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. Mitch's betting tools show. We got Jay Briggs' jam session, every pick from the NBA. Ron Romanelli's rundown from college hoops. We got the Puck Dog with Chris and Ron with their hockey videos. NFL show was shot today with Mitch, with Jay Briggs, with Chris Ruffolo. Make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications, be live. When these videos drop, you get them right away there when you do that. And of course, we've got the UFC show as well on Saturdays with Brad and Mills. Lots of shows, lots of video series here on Pick Dogs. Make sure you take part by subscribing and, of course, adding your chats. We greatly appreciate all the folks in the chat room with some really, really good comments there. We welcome Sean Murray as a supporter. We thank you very much for that. All right, that's going to do it here for this edition of the drive-thru. Let's go ahead and bring in our big cast today. Goodbye, guys. You guys have a great evening, and we'll talk with you.